A small girl sat on the corner of a crowded street, her frail hands clutching a bundle of drawings. Her big brown eyes carried more weight than her tiny frame ever should. People passed by, some glancing, most ignoring. But there was something about the way she whispered to herself, "If I sell just one more, maybe I can afford my medicine this week." That line alone could break even the coldest heart. And yet, she smiled, a smile of quiet bravery that could stop anyone in their tracks. What she never expected was that one stranger, a single father burdened by his own storms, would walk past her and do something no one else had dared. Something that would change both their lives forever. The city was alive that evening with the sounds of car horns, rushing footsteps, and endless chatter. In the middle of it all, she sat on a little stool she had borrowed from a shop owner, displaying her hand-drawn sketches of flowers, stars, and places she had only seen in books. Each piece was an explosion of color, though her hands trembled as she drew. The chemo sessions had drained her strength, but not her will. Her mother wasn't in the picture anymore, and her father had left long before that. It was just her grandmother, frail and unwell, doing her best to keep them afloat. Selling art wasn't a hobby. It was survival. Every time someone stopped, she would lift her head and say with practiced hope, "Would you like to buy one? They're only a few dollars." Most would shake their heads and walk on, never noticing how badly she needed those few dollars. Still, she held her ground. And then, a tall man with tired eyes and messy hair, holding the small hand of his little boy, stopped in front of her stand. He wasn't rich, not even close. He worked odd jobs and was raising his son alone after losing his wife in an accident. Life hadn't been kind to him either. He knew the sting of being overlooked, the pain of trying to smile while your heart broke inside. The little girl looked up at him with her soft voice. "Sir, would you like to buy one? Please, it'll help." For a moment, he froze. He saw his own daughter, the one he lost, in her pleading eyes. Something inside him cracked wide open. He knelt down, picked up one of her paintings, and said gently, "How much?" She hesitated, then whispered, $5. The man didn't take out a 5. He pulled out his wallet, looked at the only big note he had left, money he had saved for his son's shoes, and placed it in her hand. $100. She gasped, shaking her head. "No, sir. I only asked for 5. His voice trembled as he replied, "Keep it. This is more than art. This is your fight. Don't ever stop fighting." His son, too young to understand, tugged at his sleeve and asked, "Daddy, why did you give her so much?" He bent down and whispered to him, "Because sometimes, son, we are the miracle someone is praying for." But that wasn't the end. The girl didn't see the man again for weeks, though his kindness fueled her determination. She used that money not just for her medicine, but to keep her grandmother warm during the winter nights. Slowly, she began to dream again, sketching not just for survival, but for hope. Then one evening, as her grandmother struggled to breathe, the girl rushed to the hospital. And there, across the waiting room, she saw the man again. His son was sick, coughing heavily, and he looked as lost as she once had. She recognized him instantly. Without hesitation, she pulled out her little pouch, the same one she kept her art money in, and pressed it into his hands. "Sir, you helped me once. Please, let me help you now." He stared at her, his heart breaking at her gesture. She had so little and yet she was willing to give it away. He hugged her, tears slipping down his face. "No, sweetheart, you've already given me more than money. You've given me faith." Their paths intertwined after that night. He helped her with hospital visits, and she became like an older sister to his son, filling the emptiness his wife had left. Together, they weren't just broken souls surviving separately. They became a family stitched together by compassion and second chances. And when the little girl finished her last chemo session, weak but alive, she looked at him and whispered, "You didn't just save me with money. You saved me with love." The story wasn't about art or charity anymore. It was about the unthinkable choice of giving, even when you have little. It was about two wounded hearts finding healing in each other's courage. And as the father later told his son, kindness doesn't need wealth. It only needs heart. By the end, the little girl wasn't just selling her artwork anymore. She was painting stories of hope, of second chances, of family born not by blood, but by love. And every person who saw her work could feel it. The echo of one moment when a single dad walked by and did the unthinkable.